Welcome to my third STINGEReport video where I talk about new games on a weekly basis. This time I'm going to uncover the most interesting game releases of week 37. Let's have a look at it. On Tuesday, 13th of September, we can expect a new game from the creators of the two successful multiplayer World War I games, Verdun, taking place on the Western Front, and Tannenberg, taking place on the Eastern Front of World War I. The new game is called Isonzo, and it is inspired by the 2-year struggle for control of the Isonzo River Valley and the Alps on the beautiful but deadly Italian front. Players will lead the charge across stunning Italian landscapes, cut paths through barbed wire, flank enemies by following mountain trails, or man a mortar to blast a way through. Everything is recreated based on research and field trips, from sound effects and uniforms down to the houses, vineyards and trenches player will be fighting over. Battles involve 48 players fighting for either the Kingdom of Italy or the Austro-Hungarian Empire. One side will be attacking, while the other will be defending. And every map is based on a historical offensive. There will be no single-player campaign, but you can play against AI bots in private matches. Tuesday, the 13th of September also brings an action-adventure game called Little Orpheus, which was originally released on Apple Arcade in 2020. The year is 1962 and NASA is trying to put a man on the moon. In a remote corner of Siberia, a Soviet cosmonaut is heading in the other direction. Comrade Ivan Ivanovich is dropped into an extinct volcano in his exploration capsule called Little Orpheus to explore the center of the Earth. As Ivan, you will explore lost civilizations, undersea kingdoms, prehistoric jungles and lands beyond imagination. You will battle a subhuman tribe and escape the clutches of dreadful monsters. The game's release on PC and consoles was delayed this year because they thought some of the game's themes and content could be upsetting to players because of this year's world events. In the middle of August, the developer and publisher announced that they carefully evaluated the content within Little Orpheus and are now confident that the game does not contain material that could offend or harm, and that Little Orpheus can release without any changes to its content. On Tuesday, 13th of September, the first action RPG with roguelike elements based on the Lovecraft mythos will get a sequel called Lovecraft's Untold Stories 2, with brand new graphics and a new complex crafting system and 6 playable characters. Lovecraft's Untold Stories 2 continues the story where the first Lovecraft's Untold Stories left off, taking the characters to a new stage in their fight against the unknown, exploring old and new procedurally generated locations, defending against dozens of different enemies and facing epic bosses. The developer promises even more challenging fights than ever before, more than 20 hours for every playthrough, and no 2 playthroughs are ever the same. The game's release was originally planned for 17th of May, but the developer decided after additional rounds of testing and received feedback regarding in-game balance that they needed more time to make a true high-quality successor to the first game. On Tuesday, 13th of September, you can start fighting your way through 8 hells as you strike terror into the hearts of demons and devils in this rhythm first-person shooter called Metal Hellsinger. Listen to this part very carefully, because it sounds amazing. Your ability to shoot on the beat will enhance your gameplay experience. The more in sync you are with the rhythm, the more intense the music will become and the more destruction you will cause. Truly interesting concept, I must say. good news is that every track in the game was written, produced and performed specifically for the game, so content creators like me don't have to worry about copyright strikes at all. This is really a step forward. We no longer have to mute all our music like it was, for example, in Life is Strange True Colors, so we don't have to watch people weirdly moving in complete silence. As a narrator of the game, they chose a famous actor, Troy Baker, which you might remember from a long list of games and TV series. For me, it is Death Stranding and the voice of Higgs Monaghan.
The name's Higgs, the particle of God that permeates all existence. Ah, so it was you that dragged him into all this.
There is another name connected to this game, and that is David Goldfarb, the game director of Payday 2 and lead designer of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield Bad Company 2. The fast-paced platforming of Freedom Planet will return on Tuesday the 13th of September. After 7 years of development, Freedom Planet 2 will be officially out. Retro 2D platformer fans can look forward to 4 playable characters from the start with 4 different fighting styles. You will be able to whip enemies with your hair or ride on a gravity-defying motorcycle, use a shield to deflect enemy attacks, or freeze, push and impale enemies with your frost arts. No longer will you have to rely on your special move to avoid damage. The developers added a new guard button for parrying enemy attacks, but it's also possible to play with Alt Guard, where the game parries for you in situations where it is possible. That is, if you struggle with the timings for parrying and want to make the game a bit easier. They also added a revival system. Imagine fighting a difficult boss and losing right before you land the final blow. Normally you would have to start the fight all over again. In Freedom Planet 2, you will have another option, revivals. It looks like it will be quite expensive, so only for desperate moments, I assume. Like in the first game, the stages will be open and varied enough to approach in 2 distinct ways: speedrun for the fastest time or explore to collect treasure. Instead of standard difficulty levels, Freedom Planet 2 introduces a flexible item system that lets you change the rules of the game to make certain stages easier or harder. The characters in Freedom Planet 2 look and sound really cute. What if I told you that there is another side to this world? The established order of our existence is under constant threat from an unknowable number of horrifying abominations. Most of humanity has never encountered these anomalies. A creature that kills anyone who sees its face. A cult capable of causing worldwide disasters. Everyday objects that take on otherworldly powers and other monstrosities beyond our comprehension. On Tuesday, the 13th of September, SCP Secret Files will be released. The player takes the role of a rookie researcher, Carl, in an organization tasked with containing dangerous anomalies. SCP Secret Files offers a diverse range of gameplay experiences. Each story introduces its own tone, mechanics, cast of characters, and a wide range of themes including horror, science, fiction, comedy, mythology, and much more.
You will understand everything when you find it.
Last game I will be talking about today will be released on Wednesday the 14th of September and it's the 10th anniversary edition of the brain-twisting first-person puzzler Q.U.B.E. It will contain the original 2012 version of the game with improved visuals, new puzzles and gameplay tweaks from player feedback. It will also contain the director's cut version from 2014 with a voice-over narrative and revised soundtrack. Over 100 puzzles to complete across 8 sectors, where the 8th sector is a whole new chapter of the game unlocked after completing the campaign. It adds additional content for approximately 4 to 6 hours. I think that the game was originally around 3 hours long. That means that the last sector will be a bit longer than all 7 previous ones together. The game will have collectibles you can track down across all sectors and full colorblind support where symbols are used as a color aid. And that's all for week 37. What is your top pick this time? For me it is without any doubts Metal Hellsinger. I just have to hope that my written sense doesn't suck too much, or I will be the weakest monster-slaying half-demon and my enemies will have a good laugh. Take care everyone, and I will see you next week with another Stinger report. Ta-da, tiddy, to-doo! Stingers up!